we are going to welcome Will. Lovely to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Hey guys.
So the purpose of today is your design proposal critique. So you'll each present your 3 ideas developed from your fossil. You're not just showing outcomes, you're showing your thinking. So although we've had our own discussions, haven't we? We've had quite a few discussions about, your progress. Will's not been here for any of that, so he doesn't know any of that. So he wants to hear your whole kind of story. So this is a material-led project. So we're looking at how the fossil has shaped your decisions. We're also referencing making as an iterative process and the idea that the design develops through engagement with materials and not before it. So if we just go into the discussion that I've put up, if we go to modules, I just want to show you where it is. So go into modules, scroll down to BAJ 18, and then it says, where is it? Okay. Go to tasks, and under clarify the brief, under 2, it's here. The feedback and questions for presentations. So if we click on that, you can see here I've given a bit of an instruction. So as part of today's live project presentation with William, each student will present 3 design proposals developed in response to their opalised fossil. So this session focuses on learning outcome 2, which is generate a range of ideas to respond to the design brief and agree the design concept. So please use this discussion space to give supportive and constructive feedback to your peers. Feedback can help designers reflect on their ideas and refine their concepts and consider new directions before agreeing to the final design. So the assessment criteria that we're covering for today is 2.2, which is generate a range of ideas for the design concept through research, exploration and experimentation. Evaluate and explore different options and creative ideas for refining the concept, working closely with your client and seeking feedback at each step of the process. So that's why he's here. And agree a concept for the work which complies with the design brief. So when you're writing some feedback on here, please include the name of the presenter, whoever's presenting, and a constructive comment and or questions. So this could include something that you think is working well, a suggestion for development, a question about materials, wearability, or the process or concept, which proposal feels the strongest and why, how the design responds to the fossil's form or texture or history, and how clearly the ideas connect to the project brief. So there's no pressure to write lots of stuff, just nice short, thoughtful feedback is enough. So here's suggestion format. So you've got your presenter's name and the feedback or the question. So here's an example. So the presenter's Alex, let's say. So your feedback could be, I think the second proposal responds really well to the fossil's layered texture. The model helped communicate the scale clearly. Could the clause setting be simplified further to keep more focus on the fossil itself? Yeah, so we want something constructive that the person can use later on. So is everyone clear about the feedback? Oh, also there is a, right by Luca, there's a computer. If you can't get to the, can't access the canvas on your phone, you could write your feedback on the computer. So has anyone not got a phone that they can access? Has everyone got some way of writing on the discussion? Okay, if you haven't, grab the computer.
Started by looking at the fossil and feeling it, and just writing whatever comes to mind and thinking about how it's made and all that kind of stuff. This is the artist research from a jeweller, and then I thought of colours and animals and stuff. water and the rocks.
So did you look into like the history about opals and stuff? And
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking of when I was like selected those pictures.
okay.
Those are just where I got the pictures.
Okay, fine, perfect. So your initial ideas, where do your initial ideas come? Did they come from your mood board?
Yeah, mostly, yeah. Kind of was just looking at the mood board, thinking about it, and then, yeah, just the left ones are more just kind of general ideas of rough sketches, and then I kind of went into a little bit more detail on the
So you're let's go back to the shape of the stone so you can see the shape of the stone. So that's our stone.
You're thinking entirely pendants?
Yeah, I don't know why I had that idea, and then I kind of realised, well, it doesn't need to be a pendant after I did that.
I mean, it's a
But-
big stone, so it kind of makes sense, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and those are kind of the three.
So you developed some models.
Yeah. Yeah, the three favourite on the left, and then I developed one of them a little bit more that's on the right.
What's the thing? What's it made out of in the bottom right?
Clay. Clay, yeah, I don't know.
It's like a sculpey clay, isn't it? So which idea do you feel like you're going to take forward? Which idea do you like the most? And why?
I think I like the cloud one the most. Yeah. I did also like the bottom left, but yeah, I think my favourite was the cloud one.
Was this was a pendant also?
Yeah.
What were the other stones going to be?
Well, I wasn't sure whether to do stones or have it as metal or have it as wood or didn't really get that far.
That's fine. No one, no worries.
Yeah, it was just kind of very fun. Yeah. Yeah. The kind of the cloud was kind of came from the water, from like the making of the opal, and I thought the stone kind of made me think of a cloud because of the shape. The section one below that, I got the idea of two opals and kind of the crack.
Yeah.
It was kind of that kind of design was just meant to hold the stone. And then the one below that was like representing like the layers of like the stone also. So yeah.
So how I really like the I really like the layered one. I like the kind of like asymmetricalness of it. You know, this is also works really well because I feel like it could sit nicely on the neck because it's like the whole you know the whole piece. But I do really like the asymmetricalness of that and the idea of using the frames, you know, as to hold, you know, your wood or your metal or whatever it is in the layers. I feel like that's quite nice too.
Definitely. I think the cloud one I like, similar to Becky's, like it's a nice statement piece because it is quite a large stone. It works with that. I do also like the bottom left layered one, even if you left them empty. Not to put ideas in your head, but like when I was there last time, I explained how it's formed in silica spheres. You didn't necessarily have to fill it with anything. You could just leave them as blank pieces of metal, and you could use that as a way of linking in. So I think they're both really good designs. The one thing I would question about the cloud side of things is I understand the connection to water, but but it's not necessarily rainwater, it was seawater. So if there's a way you can kind of like tie that in, maybe with waves on the side rather than clouds, is another idea. But other than that, I think, yeah, I'm a big fan of both of those.
And your favourite's the clouds one?
Yeah.
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 Is there another? No.
No.
That's very nice, thank you. Can any of you give us a question and a comment?
I really like the one on the left as well. And I think it looks like a little rock tower falling over.
Yeah, exactly. Like on the beach where you've got the pebbles.
Yes.
It also links in well to Andy Goldberg, because he's supposedly credited as the founder of modern rock balancing, so it links back to him as an artist and how that dictated your process.
Nice, very well done.
Emily, what that
Good job, Emily. Thank you. It's a bit scary going first, right?
Is that
Good
way?
job.
That's fun.
Excellent. Who's next? Who would like to go next? Let's have a look. Let's see, Emily, we'll do the next one there. Kira? We're just going to go down the list.
Means you've got more time to make changes, you can see ideas.
I didn't put my timer on, I should have put the timer on, right? I don't know how to get rid of this.
They're just going down the register.
Okay, Kira. Can somebody do me a favour and put a timer on? Because my phones are all recording. But not to get really loud, just a very silent one.
Do you mind
For how
could you
long?
please zoom in?
5 minutes.
Sorry,
Zoom in.
I've got
That's right.
bad eyes.
Oh, sorry. Like that, is that alright?
Yeah. Okay, so I started off just reading the brief, and then I wrote a little statement about how I'm going to look at maybe the structure surface, maybe the geological side of the opal to kind of shape my design. Could you
Oh, I'm trying. Oh, sorry, okay.
No, it's fine. Sorry, I think it's because it's a PDF.
Yeah, probably.
And then I wasn't too sure where to start, so I started off with some artist research as well. So this is Sean Lean's work. Basically, he has a lot of structural and engineered jewellery. It's quite simple, but one of the interesting things that he does is that he uses like hidden mechanisms. He uses like lots of kind of rivets, and like you would kind of look at it and be like, oh, I'm not sure how that's connected, but because he's not shown that in the work. So I thought that was quite interesting, and how he like creates like certain supports for like the stones of his pieces. So it just got me thinking about, instead of maybe just doing like a bezel setting, like how it could be more connected to the whole piece. Yeah. And then to Barbara Hepworth, I've actually been to her house in St Ives, and it was so cool. But she had such a sad life story, so it actually made me quite sad. But yeah, so sorry. I really like her sculptures and stuff, and it got me thinking about like the different layers, like obviously where she just these like big holes in her sculptures. It's kind of like the different depths and everything, and how she uses that. It always interacts like the rest of the sculpture with the main voids. Like she uses string to connect them and stuff. So yeah, that's interesting. And then Mary Oxman, I mean, I did look into her. I don't think she specifically influenced me too much, but I did still find her quite interesting and everything. you mind zooming out?
Yeah.
That's okay. I think this page is really large for some reason, I'm not sure.
Oh, nice.
that's
Oh,
what I
that's
mean.
good.
So after I did that, I was like, okay, let's look at my actual fossil and did some drawings of it. So the thing, I got like, the stone I picked, I liked it because it was like really simple, it was oval, it was smooth, and it was pretty, and I was like, it was cute. But when I actually had a proper look at it, and like if you put it, because it's quite see-through, if you put it on like a black surface, for example, it showed all of these different layers of colours. So it had like an orange, and then a yellow, then a blue, and then it had this really small black inclusion in the middle of it. So after like looking at all of this, I was like, okay, that's like the most cool thing about it. And I was like, oh,
Like that, is that alright?
Yeah. Okay, so I started off just reading the brief, and then I wrote a little statement about how I'm going to look at maybe the structure surface, maybe the geological side of the opal to kind of shape my design. Could you
Oh, I'm trying. Oh, sorry, okay.
No, it's fine. Sorry, I think it's because it's a PDF.
Yeah, probably.
And then I wasn't too sure where to start, so I started off with some artist research as well. So this is Sean Lean's work. Basically, he has a lot of structural and engineered jewellery. It's quite simple, but one of the interesting things that he does is that he uses like hidden mechanisms. He uses like lots of kind of rivets, and like you would kind of look at it and be like, oh, I'm not sure how that's connected, but because he's not shown that in the work. So I thought that was quite interesting, and how he like creates like certain supports for like the stones of his pieces. So it just got me thinking about, instead of maybe just doing like a bezel setting, like how it could be more connected to the whole piece. Yeah. And then to Barbara Hepworth, I've actually been to her house in St Ives, and it was so cool. But she had such a sad life story, so it actually made me quite sad. But yeah, so sorry. I really like her sculptures and stuff, and it got me thinking about like the different layers, like obviously where she does these like big holes in her sculptures. It's kind of like the different depths and everything, and how she uses that. It always interacts like the rest of the sculpture with the main voids. Like she uses string to connect them and stuff. So yeah, that's interesting. And then Mary Oxman, I mean, I did look into her. I don't think she specifically influenced me too much, but I did still find her quite interesting and everything. Would you mind zooming out?
Yeah.
That's okay. I think this page is really large for some reason, I'm not sure.
Oh, nice.
So that's
Oh,
what I
that's
mean.
good.
So after I did that, I was like, okay, let's look at my actual fossil and did some drawings of it. So the thing, I got like, the stone I picked, I liked it because it was like really simple, it was oval, it was smooth, and it was pretty, and I was like, it was cute. But when I actually had a proper look at it, and like if you put it, because it's quite see-through, if you put it on like a black surface, for example, it showed all of these different layers of colours. So it had like an orange, and then a yellow, then a blue, and then it had this really small black inclusion in the middle of it. So after like looking at all of this, I was like, okay, that's like the most cool thing about it. And I was like, oh, I really like how it's built up of all these different layers. And then I was just thinking about like the different layers of the earth that you'd have to like go through and mine through to get to the stone. Do you want please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's just this one page is massive and the rest are all the same size, and I
Okay.
couldn't fix it. So
Right,
I
perfect,
apologise.
that's
So yeah, I wrote like a little core idea, which is basically explaining what I just said about the different depths and how I would show you different depths of the ground, maybe through like different textures or like material finishes and stuff. And I went to so like the right side is kind of interesting, and the left side is ones that I've taken. So I went to the beach from the house and on like walks, and I was just looking at like the sculptural wavy kind of forms that are caused, because these are all caused by like wind erosion on the sand, and I live near a river, so these were like water erosions of the rocks. So just any way of seeing the different layers, basically. And then I just started taking main shapes from my mood board and copying and pasting them and just doing some forms. Then kind of seeing how they would look as jewellery concepts, so from those main forms. And I kind of was playing around with the idea of having the opal kind of hidden a little bit, but I was trying to make sure it was still like the centre of attention, even if it was slightly hidden, because I like that about it kind of peeking through, because like if you were mining it, you could maybe just see like, you know, when you first see it, you're like, oh my god, it's there, it's just a little bit of it. So yeah, and then yeah, so this is just my renderings, because I want to see them more like, I'm actually also making this piece with friends, whites and gold, because she said she wanted gold. And I was just thinking about like the different depths of the pieces. I was like, how can I make those lower areas stand out a little bit more? So I thought about putting little tiny stones in it, and then I was kind of sad because I was like, I want to make it on CAD, and then I'd send it off to get it set, and then it felt less kind of like I had done it really like my hand, if that makes sense. So I started looking at like granulation, and it's like all to show the different textures of the earth, and that's what I drew in with the little tiny dots that you probably can't really see. Like all those, that's where I would like put small dots to show the different textures of the earth and make it stand out more as a different layer, which I prefer. So yeah, and then I think there's one more. Oh yeah, I just put this into rendering software to make my idea a bit more clear to show you guys. That was one of my faves, so I put that one in just to show the idea in general.
Nice.
Yeah. What was it? No, I don't. But somebody told me that they might be bringing in more opals. I don't know if that is happening, but I was thinking maybe just like one earring, like, oh, I'm not sure. So,
Did that happen?
Did what happen?
Did you bring some in?
I've got loads of them.
Yeah, I did tell him to bring some just in case there might be an opportunity.
Definitely bringing them in, don't worry. So whoever that was.
So what's your, which idea do you want to take forward and why? What?
I do really like the neck piece, and I did think about like that would be joined by like little hidden rivets, a bit like one of the other artists, so that was quite good. But I do think maybe the opal does get a bit lost when you're looking at it like that as a whole. And then I wasn't a giant fan. I just preferred the earrings to the ring in general, so that's why I went forward with them, to be honest with you.
So because you've got one piece, are you thinking of getting another piece to put on the other side? Like, because if you're going to make earrings, you need two fossils or opals or something. So are you thinking of having your fossil in one and an opal in another, or?
Oh, that could be interesting actually. I wasn't, but now I am.
Oh, okay.
So I was going to ask, do the earrings have to be symmetrical with a stone in both? Or could you have asymmetrical earrings where the motif of the sort of shifting sand is just continued?
And then if you were to like put them together, it would look like they would kind of like go together.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, I like that idea. I haven't looked at that. I like the idea of having two different stones actually. So that's yeah.
I think your idea is super, like, really well thought out, even to the point of like having the granulations as well as the opal being part hidden, like you say, when I'm mining it, and you see a little bit of colour in the wall. There's no better feeling than that, and the representation of that in the earring, I think, is a really unique way of looking at or setting an opal. In terms of feedback, in terms of how things could change, it's just the setting style. Are you thinking just bezel settings, or are you I haven't explored that fully yet?
No, I haven't. I was thinking of bezel in general because I didn't want to like hide. I wanted to hide the stain, not hide the stain.
Yeah.
Show it as much as possible, but I mean I'm open to any styles really.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having. I think bezel. My personal preference is bezel settings for opals, but I don't think there's anything bad with having a separate stone in another one or no stone in the other one. You know, jewelry nowadays is super. It's like whatever you want it to be, people can get behind the idea. I know someone who's designing an earring, not plural, just a singular one for one ear, and that works as well if the piece is like statement enough, which I think it can be.
I mean, you could maybe consider, you know, like a half bezel rather than a full bezel. I like that there's a full bezel in a way it kind of flows really nicely with the rest of the pieces. Like they've all got this kind of flow to them, and so it would suggest that, you know, that kind of bezel around the edge of the stone is like a protection as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas a claw might be kind of a stop-start. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, this is like a continuation of that kind of flow, I feel.
Yeah.
Are you making it on CAD?
Yeah, I was gonna make the main thing on CAD, and then I wanted to do the granulation by hand.
Nice. Have you done granulation before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, good. Would it be like real granulation with malachite and stuff, or fake granulation with the solder?
Well, I was going to do it in fine silver, and
Yeah.
then make the little granules in fine silver, and then get them to sort of fuse themselves so it wouldn't
Yeah.
have any solder.
Okay, so proper granulation. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Yeah. So then you'd have to get your piece cast in fine silver then.
Yeah, it's a gift anyway for someone, so I'm not too bothered by the price. Doesn't matter, luckily.
I think it's great that you've like used this live project to also use it as like a commission piece as well, if you like, you know. So
Yeah, and don't be afraid about setting it to a setter as well. Like, if you need someone else to set the stones, and this goes for anyone, don't be afraid to do that. So, I mean, it's so prevalent in the jewelry industry that people don't set their own stones and have someone behind the scenes do it. So that's also, don't be worried about sending it to someone else with the idea that, oh, I haven't made it myself. It's just a game nowadays, and there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, and as well, you know, it's you could just be designing something and you have a mounter, then you have a setter, and you know, you don't have to be a jack of all trades, although some of us like to be, you know, we want to do everything ourselves, don't we? Hi Bella. Nice, lovely.
Yeah, really good.
Thank you. Okay, so we have Anna.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
If you do have any models or anything or sketches you want to show us, we'd be more than happy to see them too.
Pass it on the please. My house. Yes. That's the one you want.
Just tell me when you want me to.
Yeah, I'm ready to start on this maybe. So basically I was looking at my opal first, and then it's just a teardrop shape, and it's just very smooth and clear and doesn't really say anything to me in a way. It barely has any inclusions in it. So this is what I thought I wanted to focus more on. So I just want to like, it kind of gives like sea glass vibes in a way. So I want to like use that like the clear parts of it and like do something about it. Can you
turn to the next one, please? Yeah, so I did some artist research because I was looking at the fossil and just like it says doing nothing. So those 4 artists, what they all have in common is basically they're creating like everyday things but making different materials. So for example, Su, the one on the top right, he's basically making like whole buildings, he's making like whole rooms just out of fabric and like metal, and it looks really cool. Rachel Whitereach, again, she made like those glass doors, which is unfunctional, but still looks very sick as well, I think. The Genesis Belanger, again, it's just like a grocery shop thing, and she makes it out of clay. And again, it's just like something that you see every day, but you don't think about it as an art piece. Same as Bernard Schrödinger, he's just like using weirdest thing, and it looks a bit like rubbish to me in a way. But he's using precious metals for it. So again, he's just like rethinking everyday things into like an art pieces. So this is what I kind of wanted to do in a way as well. So just like use something like everyday, something you see every day, and just like make something like meaningful with it. Can you do the next one? So I started researching the opal itself, and then sorry, it's okay. So I was looking at the area around. I went a bit around Lightning Ridge as well, but they're quite close as well. So I was like, okay, what could have it been? So it could have been anything basically. And as I said, the texture or just like the shape of it doesn't tell me anything. So I was like, okay, I'll play with the game where I can imagine where it could have been. So I think this is what I want to be my main topic of this project. So this is the mood board. I went with just like, again, like cool little things that kind of don't make sense. Can I have next one, please? So for the first design, so I started like sketching like all of those like little creatures, and just like seeing where I can go with this. For the first design, I decided to do a signet ring. Can you turn to the next one, please? So yeah, it's gonna look like that. So it's just basically if you break in a fossil and you're seeing something underneath, and I wanted it to make in a signet ring, and on top of it is gonna be the fossil itself, which gives like a little bit of tint. So I just like gave it a little one as well over there. And I thought about like different things that I can do underneath. I'm thinking probably plants in a way. I was thinking about property that gives like a seafood restaurant vibes.
Yeah.
Like a very cheap one. I was like, I don't want to go for that. And I feel like dinosaur bones is going to be like overly complicated for like a small piece like that, because the fossil is not that big. For the next idea, yes, so I really like different like charm bracelets, like Italian charm bracelet. Sorry to say that, Pandora. I think they're a bit tacky, but like for some people they look really well with their style. And again, so just like it goes with the idea of what this fossil could have been. So I made like a little charms basically, and if you turn the next one in, this is the choker that I want to create, and then with the centerpiece is going to be a fossil, but I want to make it as a magnifying glass basically. So again, it's going to be clear, you can look through it. I probably will not set it myself. Yeah, but it's going to be like an odd number of charms as well. So the centerpiece is going to be opal, and then just like different little creatures. I'm thinking about choker, either make it out of like a velvet ribbon, because they're quite thick, and maybe like embroider it, or beads like the ones that I just shown over there. But I want to like to play a bit of color to it. I just don't want it to be like plain silver, because I think like because it's gonna be a lot of it going on already. So I want like some colors to it as well. So just like a little pop of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the third idea, I had a turtle pendant. On the bottom corner, there's a little tulip that formed around that area of the turtle, so I can assume that turtles for sure live there.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, can I have the next one? So yeah, the whole idea was basically just like as Basil said, and then just like I make a little turtle, but I already heard of that idea from Leah, and I was like, I'm not gonna execute it at all. Yeah, and then I think I definitely want to do the second one, and then I started making the cat, and then this is like the little charms that I will be making. So I want to make 9 of them, I think. I'm probably gonna use 7 of the choker itself, and then the other 2 maybe I'm gonna use for earrings or something like that. I was thinking about making them like changeable, but I feel like I don't really want to do it because I think like cause it's gonna be beads. If you do like uncareful, so basically it's like you can break it, or you can break the choker itself. So I think I'd rather keep it like that. So maybe just gonna keep it for earrings or something like that.
Why 9? Why 9 and why particularly those characters?
This is like all of them that could have been. So there, like it could have been snakes, fish. There are like some shells in there, a little crab, a shark. I think I'm gonna make like a fish or something out of it. There was some frogs in it, platypus for some reason. That was like platypus living in that area as well. So you could have that fossil, and it's just like you never know. And I think this is like why I want to do like a magnifying glass out of fossil itself, so you can kind of like looking through it and just like seeing, oh, this is what it could have been. But I think I want to make charms kind of like in a cartoonish way, so kind of like a kid's toy in a way. But it's just like again, I'm gonna be out of silver.
I think it's really nice that you're paying like homage to the area and the possibilities that it could have been. I know with all the fossils that I've given you all here, I know they were shell fossils, but I remember us having a conversation about the Nautilus shells, that you can pay homage to other ideas.
Yeah.
And like you say, now the form's gone, you can't, and if you showed it to anyone, they couldn't say, yeah, it's this, but you could kind of craft it into something else. And I think that's a really cool idea, even if you're using it as like a magnifying glass, like you say, you're looking through it, you're looking through the history onto the things that what could have been or are out there or were out there. In terms of these maquettes, so are you going to be doing the beads just as the earrings, or is the necklace as well?
The necklace itself, so I tried it, so this necklace, it holds the weight, like it's fine, so especially like I'm not planning them to be too big. I think they're going to be like 1.5 centimeter tall, and I'm gonna hold the inside as well, so it's not gonna be like too heavy, probably like 2.5 grams each, and then just like this is gonna be like an odd number of them. It's all gonna be distributed evenly.
Sure. I think it's a really cool idea, and I don't know whether you've done this intentionally, but this is the sort of the emotion it's giving me. You've gone for a solid colour on top and then a lighter colour underneath.
Yeah.
And I was talking about the formation of opal last time I was here, and how we want, in an ideal world, if I'm cutting a stone, I want a dark base with bright colours.
Yeah, so I want to like to play a bit with colour as well, and just like see what's gonna be there. So like I want some pop of colour to it.
Yeah.
And then just like to look at the different patterns of the beads, because like I'm not really into those two, because I feel like they just like a bit too heavy, and then just like gonna put beads on it, it's gonna be like a bit more heavy. So I feel like I'm looking for something with a bit more gaps to it, and then just trying different things, see how they're gonna work.
I really like the idea and how you can explore that. The only thing in my head, and this might be totally wrong, but if there's a little bit of play to the beads in terms of the string that you're using, like a little bit of elasticity, once you've got everything around there, is it going to pull it and leave gaps?
No, I'm gonna use just like as a regular string. I thought about like
that's
doing like the elastic one, but I think it's just like if you're gonna wear it every day, it might just like a bit of tension here and there, and it's just like the elastic string gets thinner somewhere. With this one, it's just like gonna distribute the weight evenly. So if you do like stretch it this one a bit, so it just like it still holds there. So it's just like the top part of it is basically like a solid one in a way, and just like gives all the structure. And then the bottom ones, they're just like a delicate pretty one. So this is where I can put the weight on.
Amazing. Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Thank you.
You've really thought through like lots of different angles. I know we've talked quite a lot about it over the last
And I feel
couple
like
of
my
weeks.
backup plan is always going to be I can use like a velvet ribbon to it, and then just like do some embroidery, so which still is going to be some colour to it.
Yeah.
But
And I like this sort of lattice lacy design that you've got going on as well, because again, in my head I think you could argue that is layers of opal, for example, or layers of earth, like we were talking about a minute
and
ago.
I'm thinking like to add into like on the bottom you see there's just like little like 4 small beads. I'm thinking about like adding mineral beads, basically like a tear shaped small ones, again just like to give some pop of color, but it just depends if you're gonna find the ones that are like, just like how expensive they are.
Yeah.
So is it going to sit, where's it going to sit? Just like,
So I think it's gonna be like this much. It's not gonna be like a proper choker, but it's not gonna be just like a necklace that lays on you. So just
Just
like
so just-
so
just at the base
yeah,
of
so
the neck.
something like that, maybe just a bit more up.
so that
Yeah.
it's supported, yeah, because
Yeah, yeah,
if it's not kind of, if it's too low, then you've got that whole
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
So it's gonna have
thing
like,
going
like
on,
tension
but if
to it
it's
as well.
fitting nicely to a particular neck, it's
Yeah.
going to sit really nicely, isn't it? Are you going for this thicker one or the thinner one?
I'm gonna
You're
try
not
different
sure yet?
ones. I'm definitely
See
not
the
gonna go
weight.
for the thicker one. I think it's just like it's gonna be too heavy for it. So there's like some different patterns that I want to try as well.
And how about the clasp? What's going to go on with the clasp? Have you thought about that yet?
Yeah, I'd say just like a classic clasp, like the one that you have, and I think I'm gonna make like a little chain at the end. So just like if someone has like someone needs to regulate the length of it, so it's just like a
Will you make your own clasp?
I'll think about it.
I think you have to, right? I think we need a handmade clasp on this. Like, you've put all of that effort in. You know,
I'll think about it.
maybe
Cook some
it should
goals
help.
tonight. Yeah. Lobster.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of your animals could maybe be a clasp.
I'll think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Good. Has anyone got any thoughts or questions or?
I was curious about the choker and the beads. Is there like a cultural context to why you've chosen that method?
It's basically it's like traditional Ukrainian jewelry, so I think like I wanted to put something to it as well.
I think that'd be nice to see within your work a bit of your context to why that relates
Yeah,
to you.
I'm
in
thinking about it
practice.
to the presentation
Yeah.
next, but yeah, when I was looking like through it, and it's just like basically it's been there for like years and like centuries round. So I wanted to make like something like that as well. I tried to look into traditional Australian jewelry as well, which is jewelry with like the myths and legends, and I was like, oh, what can I incorporate? And then someone I was like, oh, I could do a mermaid. And then I was looking into it, and I don't really have mermaids there in a way, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do mermaid.
Yeah, no mermaids in Australia.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we've gone over our 5 minutes, but really nice job.
Yeah.
Thank you. So remember, guys, if you've got any things that you wanted to add, because we don't have too much time, add it to the discussion. That'd be great. I'm sure Anna would really appreciate your thoughts. Campbell,
Yeah.
you ready?
Yeah, the PowerPoint's a bit bleak at this point.
That's all right. That's fine. Have
It's
you
bare
got any-
bones, it's bare bones.
Absolutely fine.
Don't worry, it won't be the most bland PowerPoint here, don't worry.
Have you got anything physical? Any?
I've got most stuff on there. It's
Okay.
just, it's
Alright.
not, doesn't look great.
That's all right. I'm sure it's fine. Okay.
That's just clarifying the brief. So, for the jewellers, I looked at two artists. I looked at Annie Costello-Brown. I don't particularly like the work that she makes, but I like that she works from the material and that she's not like a classically trained jeweller. So she just used the skills that she has and the materials that she has to make whatever she can. And then I was looking at Carl Fritz as well, and more so the way that he approaches his setting stones, and that they're not, the pieces are quite bold and they're unusual ways of setting stones, I think, which
Yeah.
is something that I was thinking about, although I know I'm not going to be able to do any of those kind of settings because the opal's quite soft. But yeah, I like the sort of look of his work. Next slide, please. And then I was looking at Isamu Noguchi, and I like how he makes his sculptures site specific, so they fit within the space, and he also plays with combining, what do I say there? Organic and geometric elements. So this sort of thing, way of two opposing beams and how they work together, I thought was interesting. And then Hella Jongeris, wasn't particularly inspired by her work, but I like the way that she has quite a playful attitude towards designing, and that's something that I wanted to sort of take into my work. I also quite like, in the bottom, it's quite small on screen, but she has this design that was in the bottom left-hand corner is beads on, what was it on? Bits of string basically. I quite liked how that broke up the view, but you could still see through. But it gives you something else to add. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's a diamond, isn't it?
Yeah, in the United Nations Lounge or something like that.
Cool, isn't it? Huge.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And then I sort of started my actual work by just looking at the stone, drawing it, holding it up to the light, really getting a sense of all different elements of it and what it could be and what it could do from what it is. And I was quite happy that I got a bit more of a rough one. So and I liked how when you hold it up to the light from the polished side, you get all these sort of colours and textures coming through, which you don't necessarily see when it's flat down.
I think you should zoom in that too. Why is that not doing it? Okay, there we go.
And then I started doing some just initial designs that was coming into my head. I had the first idea was having, which I didn't say the other day when we were doing it because it felt a bit too simple, was having the opal surrounded by two bits of potch to sort of reference back to the idea that it's spent millions of years stuck between two bits of rock, sort of taking it back to that, even though it's been taken out, it's still in the same sort of position. I was going to do that as a brooch. And then I had another idea, which was having this ring, which was quite big, and having it on the side and having the light being able to come through. So when you were looking at the ring, when it's on your hand, that you could see the stone, and it was sort of this idea of it being something hidden and it's to be discovered. That's sort of something that is quite prevalent in all these designs, is that it's something that is to be discovered. And then I was looking at the idea of a locket, which I know was everyone's favourite, when I said the other day. And started looking a bit at the idea of having the structure of the opal, the molecular structure, and how you have all these sort of lined up. Is it the silica? Or is it,
Yeah.
And the idea of having that maybe on the back, I was thinking to let the light come through so you can see the patterns coming through, is what I started thinking. And then after our chat the other day, I started doing some more designs that I think I prefer the idea of having this sort of blob structure on the front and the back, and having the opal inside, so it's sort of like a cage around it. Mainly because I think it's going to give it a bit more protection, it's not going to get knocked as much, but also I think it will allow the light to come through nicely. And I was sort of thinking, I mean, I had some with a bit of a rougher texture in the front to look more rock-like, and I was thinking maybe about angling them in different ways so that when you look at it from front on, you might only get a little bit down here of colour, but then when you walk around and move around the piece, you get flashes of the stone. But it didn't really work. I tried it in a maquette yesterday, and just leaves there's too much space. But I did have on the top, the next slide, the top one was, if it was all metal, was the idea of it having sort of pixelating the structure and taking bits and then having them so that the squares sort of go in at different angles, then you would get the changing view of the piece as you looked at it from different angles.
That's interesting.
And then there was also that one with stones as little windows, but I think that it wouldn't work because the facets will just distort it too much, won't they? That was my idea that I think I realised quite
So you're
quickly.
thinking something solid with stones, so
Yeah.
that you're kind of seeing, looking through the stones.
Yeah, but I don't know if it would work, because I think a faceted stone would just sort of
Reflect.
reflect back what you were rather than reflecting what's inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you need cabochon ones, but they're very small, aren't they? It's like how much
Yeah.
do you see?
Mm.
How much? Yeah.
But that's sort of what I was like the idea of, is not getting much of a view of it, but you sort of get like little flashes of something inside when you look at it as you move around.
And then from the back, it would still be the same or solid?
Don't know. Haven't quite got that far yet. But
So
that's-
you've gone from. I really like this idea.
No, that is my favourite one. I think I'm just trying to make it a bit more. I'm trying to not think about how I could do different things.
Can you explain
Yeah,
that
yeah,
a bit
no,
more? I'm
it's
slightly
brilliant, yeah.
confused by it. So is it solid on the back with the front that opens up, or
So it's going to be the same on which one? That one or
the one that everyone says is their favourite?
Oh, every
Yeah.
no, it's not every.
Um,
this one.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
front and back the same?
Yeah.
It's sort of like, it's like the structure where you've got two like that and there's one in between underneath, and then it can be opened up, but it's sort of like a cage that goes around the piece.
Mm.
Why the safety pin?
Because I don't like pendants.
So you want a brooch, but with the safety pin.
Yeah,
Would you make the same thing?
yeah.
They're in fashion nowadays, though. So I see them
Mm.
all, yeah, everywhere.
They're quite a big one, I was thinking.
Mm.
Okay, a old nappy one.
But
Yeah.
the bail is like a bail on a pendant.
Yeah. I think I guess it comes back to the idea again of finding things, you know, like
Mm.
having things that sort of collection. So I guess like, you could have other things that you could
So
put
you
on.
could wear it for a pendant if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Or you could add other things to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Is
the
this your
safety pin.
favourite one as well?
Yeah. I think either that one or the last one with the squares and things going in different angles. I think one of those two.
Is it really highlighting the stone?
Yeah. Because it's again this idea of the stone's been hidden for millions of years. It's been mined and found. So then this is the same sort of thing where it's hidden. You're getting an idea that it's there, but you have to find it to actually by opening it up.
Does it come out when you open it up?
Yeah.
You
It'd
take
be like,
the whole stone out.
yeah, I think I don't know if it'd be loose or whether I'd have to find some sort of way. I guess it depends on how tight fitting the locket is around it.
Mm.
Have you thought about like not squares, but just like round holes? Because if you're gonna be doing it in cars, just like if there's something with printing when they custom it, so you have to clear them somehow. I think it will be easier with the holes because you can just like at least drill them through. But I think with the squares, it's gonna be really hard to keep the shape.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe you'll need to make them bigger.
Yeah, I mean, what sort of size are you thinking for your holes? Because, you know, if they're going to be a millimetre, for
Yeah, like a
example,
millimetre.
then it shouldn't
Yeah.
be a problem, really, should it? If it's like under 0.6, then it probably will be a problem, I think. I mean, you know, I'm not a CAD person, but I think, you know, under 0.6 is a problem, but a millimetre should be about right, I reckon. It's keeping the crispness, I guess that's what you're
Mm.
feeling like, isn't it?
I like this final design. I love the idea of discovery. I know we touched on it a bit before, but the idea of having to find it, paying respect to where it came from and how it was found. I think if you can explore the idea of it opening up, like you say, if it's loose, I think from a functional point of view, if it's loose, you might have problems unless you have a really solid way of closing that locket. Another idea is you could have like micro prongs just holding it in on one side. That way it kind of opens up like a book, but then you can't take the pages out. You have to close it, and then I think it works with that. The idea of texture I think can work, but I don't know if you're having such small holes. If you're texturing that face, if you have small holes, I wonder if they get lost within the texture.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's polished, it depends. Are you going to have the polished side facing out, or are you going to have the rough side facing out?
For which one?
For the final one.
What, the one on the top there?
Sorry, the final one. Does the final one open, or is the final one closed, sealed, and it won't be seen?
Whichever one does.
It opens up, yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd be I don't know what the finish would be on it. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about with the opal you've got the
Oh,
fossil
yeah.
side and the polished
Yeah.
side. Which side is going to face away from the person?
I guess that's the thing that I was thinking of being able to change it around. Is that's the whole thing of being able to take it out, being able to
Right.
touch it,
Okay.
being
Yeah.
something that you can actually feel.
Yeah.
I think that's what I liked about it being in a locket. Was it's something that holds it, but it's also a thing of its own that you can take out.
So you want it to be versatile?
Yeah, I like that idea. The only concern from my head, and that's just me being an opal guy, is the idea of its fragility. So if, for example, a mechanism did fail, or someone was a bit clumsy and they opened it and dropped it, they ruined the whole piece.
Yeah.
There won't be another one they can just slot back into there unless they want something that might wrap it around. So just an idea in mind about how is it going to be really nice to secure in there, whether it's your mechanism or something that can, like it on a little hinge that's tight enough to where you can open it, take it out, but when you closed it, it's still in there and it's not going to fall out if it were to open.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots to think about, right?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Like, if when you pull it off, I think it's going to be very unique, and I love the idea of discovery and getting, because it's like you said with that abacus window, I'm going to call it, where you can see through it from a distance, but up close you can actually see the detail. I think that's cool.
How are you thinking of making it? Are you thinking of CAD or are you thinking of hand making?
CAD. Then I think I'd obviously make the pin.
Yeah, the cleaning up is going to be a nightmare, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah. I imagine that's going to be what most of the days in the workshop are going to be. Is going to be just cleaning up.
Yeah. Okay, great, lovely, thank you. I haven't given any. Guys, don't forget to write your thoughts on the discussion, because there's a lot to think about there. Okay, should we do one more and then have a break? How are we feeling? Are you okay to do one?
It offers off the table.
Offers off the table. Tyler, are you ready?
Would you not like to end on a high note then?
Yes, absolutely. You are the high note.
Okay, we'll revisit that. Okay, it's not finished.
No, it's not supposed to be finished.
Okay.
It's a work in progress, it's fine.
Yeah, there we go, that's the title page.
Nice.
Mood board, oh wait, sorry, if you go back quickly. Mood board professionals, models, ignore the other bits below. And then the next page, please.
Okay.
That's the title page of the mood board. That's, as you can see, a block of butter in a butter dish. Because it's just going to start there and roll over. Because the stone I have, it looks kind of like a yellow loaf, or like a block of butter. It looks pretty yummy. Not very sure what to do with it though. There's also just a signet ring like that there, because I tried to draw my ideas down, but it just really, like, the big signal error between my brain and my hand. It's not coming through. So I've just given you a picture of a signet ring similar. It's got a nice colour, so I thought that might be nice. Or maybe Anna did a similar thing, like have something underneath, because when you put it on paper, it kind of magnifies anything under it. It looks quite nice. So I thought maybe something like that. If you look at it, it's got like a dark bit in the middle, and every time I look at it, I just see an eye. And so I've just put a picture of a fish's eye there, but I'm really reluctant to do that, because I just think it's like, what is it? Oh, it looks like an eye. Oh, I'll do an eye. And so I don't like that. And that's a yellow stained glass window. I don't know if that's real photo or not, but you get the vibe. Yellow coming through something like that. And I think it's a bit nice. And then that's sun catcher, that dripping thing. It's not a drop of water. If you zoom in actually, please, then you'll see that a bit better. There you go, a sun catcher. Just the idea of something dangling, light coming through something, because I thought maybe I'll have it dangling in an earring, maybe? I'll talk about that a bit later in a second, I think. And if you scroll up a tiny bit, please. There's just some yellow. It's not very important, but it's just I had to fill that space, so I just put some yellow in there.
Nice.
And then the next page, please. Back one, please. There we go. And that's a bit of mood board. There's a magnifying glass, as I mentioned. It kind of magnifies stuff from below. That's some toast with a bit of butter on it.
Nice.
I think it looks like some yummy butter. Similar vibe with the pancakes. That's Australia, and that light yellow bit in the dark yellow is, I think, where the water was when it was like an ocean.
This bit.
On those maps.
On the map.
Oh.
Yes, so that's just a map, obviously.
It's not the
That's
best
where it's
image,
from.
is it?
Yeah, but you know, I'm telling you what it is, so you
Yeah.
don't need to ever see
Okay.
it. And that's PP shells. So that's what it was. That's some layers of rock, because layers of rock. It's like where it was, and that's a bit of opal and potty stuff in layers. That thing on the left of it, the cog, that's like a little decision spinner. I couldn't find a picture of anything that is what I wanted to say, but imagine you have a circle, and my stone is on it. I'll be able to show you this a bit later. And my stone is on it, and let's just forget all kinds of jewelry. Just imagine the circle. Stone is on it, but it spins, so you can spin it, and the stone will be on the circle, and it will stick to it and spin around. And because it's see-through, you can see stuff below it. This is all solid metal, this circle it's on. And then underneath, there's another layer of metal, maybe cut out, maybe marked in. And I don't know, maybe there'll be pictures or something, because that might be fun. Oh, there's a different picture. Oh, there's another picture. Or maybe decision spinner. This over here, it says yes. Over here, it says no. Over here, it says not right now. Over here, it says something else. You can make your decisions for you, because I'm not very decisive. And that's a spiral, because I'm not really sure. Spiral, like a shellfish shell, like an ammonite, like a fossil, like that bad boy. That's a nautilus on the top right. I don't know why, shellfish, spiral. I had the idea maybe like I can't really explain it well. Imagine like a nautilus shell. I saw, a nautilus shell. Imagine it's metal and hollow, and maybe I'll do like a similar shape to that, like a cutout in the metal like that. Just going around the shell might be nice, and then in the mouth of the whole shell, like a big French horn, and then coming up here, boom, there's an opening, but not an opening anymore, because that's where the stone will be. Might be nice, and that could be a pendant perhaps. I don't know. And then next slide, please.
Could you look into it and see something inside?
Not, and maybe if I put something behind it for you to look at, like have you pressed up against the back. Otherwise, you'll just look in and see yellow and black. Yes. And what?
No?
That.
You want
I
it?
think.
We don't want it?
No, that can be there. I think perhaps. I'm sure I made that like the other one. But anyway, layers of rock. That's the one below it is like some broken rock. This is when I wasn't sure what I was gonna do, and I was thinking, rock. I want to get like really textural rocky with this. Maybe really nice finished stone and really like rough, natural looking metal. Whoa. And then on the left, they're just on top of it. It should have been all messed up, like all together, like the other page. Yeah, like that.
Oh no.
Back. There we go. So on top of that dry ground, there's some sand, and it's like oh, nice, perfect, and smooth sand, and wibbly wobbly ripply sand. That was like the nice cut, polished stone. rocky metal, natural shapes. That's another PP shell. Light and dark, contrast. That's the idea. Contrast is what that image is meant to show. On the right, those are some rings that are all like rough, kind of funny misshapen. Maybe it was where I was going to go. That's the picture below that is water drying up like a lake, like an ocean, something maybe like that, because I like that texture on the ground. And there was an ocean there, not anymore, it all dried up. So it's like that, what it used to be. And then down below, that's a ring with like a pebble in it. And I was like, that's nice. And then
You've got 17 slides and we've got like two minutes left.
It's okay.
We have
not all the
minus
slides or
4.
anything. Quickly left, sorry. Quickly left. And then there's a flower.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. There you go. There's a
Oh,
flower.
there we go.
And then right quickly, please.
Right, quickly.
It's not. Don't think about 17 slides. There's not 17 slides.
Where's the right?
Just the next slide, please.
Ah.
Oh, back one, please. There we go. So we had to choose professionals. These are my 3: Bernard Schobinger, Zhang Wang, Per Kirkby, jeweler, sculptor, designer / systems thinker. And that's some examples of their work. And then next slide, please.
Yeah, cool. Why did you choose those guys?
I really, if you go back one slide, please. I liked what they were doing. So this guy Bernard Schobinger, he's got like Anna had this as well. Really rough, nasty looking stuff. Like it looks like from the bin, but it looks really nice when he does what he does with it.
Yeah.
And like natural shapes. Whoa, like uneven. Whoa, like that. And then the one on the right, Zhan Wang, similar vibe, like messed up, natural, uneven, it's melted, it's broken, what is this? No one knows. like metal sculptures.
Yeah.
And then on the right, that's Per Kirkby. I mean, systems designer thinker. Apparently he did a lot of stuff, but his paintings are pretty cool, and I like that it's like nature and colors-ish. And it looks a bit like form, abstract, coloured all over the shop, like on an opal. And also, he talks about his work like this is a natural landscape, and layers of this and layers of that. And I wrote a bit about him. If you go to the next slide, please. That's Bernard Schobinger, some of his work. There you go, you can see it. And then the next slide, please. And that's Zhan Wang, some of their work. That's all the, whoa, like, nice, textured look. And then the next slide, please. And this is Per Kirkby. And I think it's pretty nice, I like it. And then the next slide, please. And then this is a bit about Per Kirkby. There's a bit in there where I'm like, bro, this guy gets it. He trained as a geologist, hello, and viewed his work as crystallized forms of nature, hello, with paintings mimicking layered rock strata and earthy colors, hello. And some other stuff about him. And then the next slide, please.
Oh dear, what's going on?
Oh, back one. There you go. Back. There you go. That's some models I made. So on the left, that's like a helix. I couldn't really tell you why. And then on the right of that, that's
That was the thing where you wanted the piece on the end, wasn't it? Do you remember?
I wasn't very sure.
What you just described about with her having the piece on the end.
All my ideas are very
Uh-huh.
separate, like random. Like I've picked up 100 paintballs and thrown them at a wall. They're all separate objects, but they've all come from me.
I remember having the discussion with you when we were doing that. When you were talking about having the piece at the end, like what you've just described. When you were doing this whole.
For the Nautilus, that's the next one.
Okay.
Well, okay. that black circle with that little cross on it, that was when I was like, the spinner, and you can see something through it. You couldn't really see that cross through it, unfortunately. So perhaps maybe if it was a lighter metal or a cutout. On the right of that, that's a spiral, like that North East one I was talking about. On the right of that, that's a little paper disc that spins with a split pin, and there's a little fishbone you can see, and then you spin it some more, there can be anything else. And then the next slide, please.
So you're thinking of having the stone on there, on the top of there, so you're seeing through the stone? Is that
Where
what
that circle
yeah.
is, yeah. They're not circle,
the cutout?
yes.
Is that cutout the same size as your stone?
It's not the exact, I think it is, I think I traced it.
Okay.
And then the next slide, please. And thank you, that's the end.
I think the idea of like a magic 8-ball type style of ring is interesting. I've not seen it before, but I think if you put yes, no, and all that business under it, I don't think it quite works with it. Whereas the fish bones and all that sort of thing does. I think if you do you have an idea at this moment? That's like I'm thinking I'm going down that route. Or are you still throwing paintballs at the wall?
Everything that you grabs.
That's fair. Okay.
Into the edible idea and make it look like something that you would eat.
Oh what I did really like the idea of a block of butter.
I was going to say, you can make like a little toast thing out of different metals and then put the thing on top and make it look like it's bar on top.
That was one of my ideas, yeah. A piece of toast, butter, the thing, pancake,
Just don't eat your stone.
or block of butter in a little butter dish. I thought might be fun.
My only question is, if you're going down the route of food, how does that apply to geology, opals, like arid outback, that sort of thing?
That's why I left them.
That's fair enough. I think there's some thinking to do in that respect. In terms of, I quite like the idea of, I've not seen it before, a spinning disc. I think that's quite cool. I've not seen it before. If you were to mark it out on metal, it would make more sense than having a cutout on the inside. Because let's say you go to somehow, I'm just picturing how I'd make it, fold it up. If it does spin, if you have a cutout on the inside, it gets caught. You're seeing the same shape every time it spins, so it'd have to be on the metal below if something was spinning on top. Does that make sense?
It would be.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so that piece on top, where if you look at that gold circle, that's the top of the split pin.
Yeah.
The bit of paper directly underneath that is a solid circle,
Yeah.
and the stone would be on that. Like imagine this is that solid circle, and the
Yeah.
stone is.
I get that. I'm talking about the for example, the fish bones underneath. Are you marking that out in metal, or are you thinking of maybe having a cutout instead?
Well, that below bit is the one that.
As in
stationary.
etching, is that you thinking etching
Yeah,
or
yeah.
engraving?
Are you etching it, are you engraving it, or you have something totally separate that's inside the mechanism? Because if it moves with it, that's the only risk. That, again, if I'm thinking of making it, it would have to. So I appreciate you've got the metal pin. This bit, the stone spins on top around something else that's stationary. You'd have to have it engraved or marked. You couldn't have something else separate on the inside, because there'd be a risk of it just not working like you think it should or would.
The inside isn't moving.
Yeah.
The lid is moving.
Yeah, I know, but you were mentioning cutouts, so I was wondering if you were thinking about that for your final piece as well. If you were to go for it, but I understand we're not at that stage yet.
Yeah.
We're on different pages of the book.
The cutout would be at the bottom.
Yeah. That's fine. But I was just saying, you were using the word cutout, so I wasn't sure if you were saying, I'm going to have a cutout in it.
I might do. I was saying
That's
maybe
my concern.
Because I thought if it's just an engraving, maybe you can't see it so well. So maybe you need that light coming through from a cutout.
Yeah, or you could darken it with either a sulfur, perhaps.
Perhaps.
It would look like an opal, a layered opal. So you have the black at the bottom, the layer of the opal, and then the opal on top.
Yeah, maybe. Or you just have it as the outline is blackened and the rest is polished. But yeah.
Thank you. Say again, sorry?
No worries, I was just talking to Alexandra.
So, do you have an idea which idea you're going to take forward?
Honestly, I'm not sure right now.
Okay, what's stopping you from finalising a direction right now?
I just haven't decided.
You're not feeling anything particular right now?
no real favourites.
Last time you said dinosaur eye, is what you said
Yeah,
last
I don't
time.
want to do an eye. I just think it's like, what is it? It's an eye, you know?
You could leave it the thing if you're going to make an A4, just spin a wheel.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
We've got any other feedback from anyone?
I like the decision spinner, but with the shapes. How would you display that? Would that be a brooch, or could it be like a wrist piece instead of a watch, but kind of that thing, or a pendant? Or...
That's cool.
That's cool. I hadn't thought that. I have no idea. I was thinking probably pendant, but I don't really like that.
Because you spin it, it always lands back at the same place.
I mean, I was thinking you have to like hold it flat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to weight it carefully.
Would it have to spin, or could it like click? So that it could stay on the position if you needed it to.
I'd like the spinning
You want it to just go round and round.
because I like the idea of like flipping the stone and it.
What about you have
Okay.
those like fidget rings? Like for anxiety that people use.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Do something like that.
How?
Oh, well, no.
Yeah.
It's your job to figure out.
Tell us like make it for me.
What other drones would you put underneath? Like fish mold?
It's
Is that
anything,
like a thing?
whatever. I mean, there's a fishbone. Have a dinosaur head. Have the cut out Australia. Have.
You've got a lot of things to consider, Tyler. I feel like we need to kind of like close down a little bit.
Yeah.
Start to focus on
Ooh.
what's really gone.
Sorry, I had an idea. You know the concept of Earth, the evolution of Earth like a clockwork. So the evolution, the time that on Earth is measured in like it's divided in hours. For example, human life is 10 minutes long in the whole circle of life so far. So if you were thinking to do something like this and putting it together with the idea of making a wrist piece, you could use divide it in 12 and put a geological era under each spot, and every time that you spin it, you end up on a different geological era.
To go to 12, that would need to be a lot bigger. So to have
Or smaller.
No, it would need to be bigger. To have the stone where it is right now, so like you hold the circle and the loaf shape is sideways, you can only get 4 different views. If you turn it long ways, you can get a bit more, maybe like 1 or 2 more views, without the other one being visible in the other one.
Could it be a replaceable back? So you could maybe have 4 backs that you could replace it with.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I did think, because perhaps that's a dead fish, I did think perhaps like, 4 journeys of one thing. So like that's a dead fish, here's a big alive fish, here's a small baby fish, here's a fish egg, but I don't know.
Right, well, that's something to think about. Let's go and have a break. Really nice work, Sam. Thank you.